Good morning everyone, welcome back to the farm vlog. We are gonna revive this car. I got sent a rescue kit from Fitment. We're gonna plug that in and see if we can bring the car up today. I'm gonna transfer it to our new POV style camera because it just makes it easier for me to work with my hands and vlog at the same time. The car is sitting on the ground and we basically need to get it up so that I can get it on the tow truck, send it to Manila, basically re-get it running, and hopefully we can go drifting. Before the pandemic, we installed a Parts Shop Pro steering angle kit along with a drift handbrake. It's just that I never got to test it because I basically ignored the car. Let's revive it and see if we can get this going. Hopefully luck is on my side. Let's do this. The car has been disabled with an alarm. Nothing opens because nothing is connected. But what happened here is we removed the air management system and we moved the air tank to Vicky because I needed a smaller air tank. So this was the replacement air tank, which we never got around to installing. As you can see, this has a, I think, 3rd gen fitment kit, which I've never really installed, and that's an old outdated system already. This is the old AccuAir E-level stuff, and this is terrible because it drains battery. This new kit from Fitment has 0 parasitic drain, but the car is not gonna get an air management kit now. It's just gonna get a rescue kit. Show you how it works. This is a rescue kit. It's got a blocking valve here, a one-way valve, and it's just jerry-rigged so that we can get pressure into the system. And we are gonna connect every single hose here. Problem is, we don't know if we're gonna get enough pressure to bring everything up. I don't feel like it's raising up. This might take a really long while because normally when you air up a car, you have 140 to 160 psi of pressure. We're not building any pressure now, we're just directly pumping into the bags, which means it might not even hold. That idea wasn't working, we're now trying a second idea. I basically need to find a way to connect this system. I did feel the car go up just a tiny bit. How on earth are we gonna do this? Okay, because if that can go there, so ideally we had a one-way valve here, but that's better than nothing. So that's gonna plug there, that's gonna plug back there. Problem is, there you go. So now the car should race up. Our compressor is only 80 psi, which means we don't have enough pressure. We need something in the 120 psi of pressure. Here's a dumb idea. I'm gonna try to overpressure. I ended up hooking up our rescue compressor. It's hooked up to the battery, hooked up to the airline, and because we're using the compressor tank here, I'm overpressuring it now. This is a really stupid idea, but it actually might work. Oh, it is. Supporting the battery with some power from the tender. We don't use Noco anymore, we use C-Tech, but just supporting it, checking out the pressure. We are, oh my god, we are 110. Ladies and gentlemen, we found a hack. We're now at 120. Let's try this out real quick. Oh yes, I feel it. Okay, we're gonna do it again. We're still at 110 psi. We have liftoff already on the side skirt. This is a good sign. Now what we can do is we can get a jack to help support it, or we can just pump this up again to past 120. So we're gonna see now. If we pump past 120, maybe we can get a better height. I'm so happy this stupid idea is working. Now we're able to push the car already, so I'm gonna schedule the tow truck, and later this afternoon I will work on the electricals. I think we've got a good height already on the car. See, as you can see, I can put my finger in already. I think one more pressurized system and we're good to go. Let's get this done. Turn it off, unplug. Careful, it's super hot, wow. And then pressurize. I feel it going up. I think that's it. We're golden. Hopefully there's no leaks on the bags. And now we shut it off. Everything works. I love it. And the car is well above the normal height that we need. So we're golden. Let's hope this doesn't drop on the ground. I'm gonna schedule a tow truck on Monday to pick up this car. And then later this afternoon, we're gonna work on the wiring. So while we're waiting for that, we're actually going to work on the Mclaren. The Mclaren had an issue with the BCM, and I finally have a new BCM right here. Now I need to look for the programming module so I can program the BCM, but hopefully this car starts. I'm really hopeful that this car will start. It's been way too long, and geez, I really want to drive this car. This car used to belong to my dad, and it's such a waste that it's just sitting here. So if this idea doesn't work, our last step is to basically convert it into a race car. Put in a PDM system to remove all the wiring harness, and put in manual air suspension or a coilover system, and then basically try to get it on a sequential with a pedal box. It's going to be a lot of work, but that is the last way for me to get it running. I won't have any active aero yet. I won't have the active suspension also, but at least the car will be usable and drivable. The engine of this car works perfectly. The car starts now, it's got a Cybex ECU, but it still doesn't want to engage anything. The cluster doesn't want to light up. It basically stays on park or neutral, which means you can't move the car. So a while ago I was checking the lines and we had a leak here, which went the whole system's leaking because it's basically bridged out. What would have been nice is if we had a line lock per line, and that way we could just basically lock each individual line and not have a leak overall. But what's happening now basically is these fittings are called Festo. They're color blue and they don't hold pressure that good. So back in car porn we used to use these gray fittings. These are meant for air suspension and they're about high pressure, about 100 150 psi, versus the Festo fittings I think they're only like 100 psi, just not holding so well. How cool that dumb idea worked. I can't believe it's actually raised up now, so you can see the fender gaps now. I'm so happy that this worked. We can now schedule a tow truck to get the car back to Manila so that we can get it running, get it slideways. We're gonna assemble the key fob, and what happened here was we cracked the old casing, so I ended up buying a new casing, but I have not assembled it. And we have some new batteries as well. Let's figure out this key issue that we have and try to be super gentle. Basically, the new key fob has to sit inside. You see the 3 buttons on top, which would mean that will be like this. The previous key fob detached and it was glued already, so we need that ring. So I need this, which is the grounding clip. Okay, so that goes in there. I don't know if that's the correct position. Let's compare. So this one has a post in the middle, this one does not have a post in the middle. Okay, the only way for us to test this is to plug the battery in, and I don't want to plug the battery in because it's going to be so noisy. Lala's not going to like the noise. This is the moment of truth. That goes over there. Now the hood shocks are dead too. We're going to connect the battery now. So oh my god, it works. Do we have lights? Oh, We're alive, we're alive, we're alive. Okay, moment of truth. Will the car start? General Motors and Chevy and Corvettes in general are pretty much reliable and bulletproof, and that's one reason why we use them for drifting. The engine in this thing is absolutely rock hard solid, and I'm guessing it's gonna start. My money is it's gonna fire up. The fuel needs to circulate. I don't even know if this thing has fuel for sure. It's actually very spoiled fuel already, but we're gonna run this car and fingers crossed. That's why our POV cam also trying to fire up the Black Manta after years of hibernation. Do we even have gas? That is a great start. Look at that. Yes, we do have gas. We're neutral. There's no clutch. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. What? Haha. Clutch needs to be bled for sure, but we're in business. So, gotta turn off the headlights. Oh no. We are not getting any response from the headlights, which means I should disconnect them first. Which means I don't know where to disconnect them from. I have to disable the headlight for sure. And there it is. Boom, no battery drain. So the hood locks of this car is misbehaving, but no worries. We can just step on it, latch in the hood lock this way and that way, and then we're good to go. Voila. So we're gonna shuffle up some cars now. I need to take photos of the GT4 RS and the 992 GT3. We're gonna park this car now and basically hook it up to a tender again. We'll slot it in between the 992, or maybe we'll just slot it in here beside the pista. I will be taking home the 812 GTS to Manila so that we can attach all the Novitec parts for this car. We're gonna get this car ready also, so we might use it in the Manila Auto Salon. I know you guys love this car. I actually like hearing it, but I hate driving it. It's not the best car, especially if you come from a Ferrari and then you jump in the Lamborghini. The sound is amazing, the look is so menacing, but overall, keeping it as a car, it's better to look at than drive. I know, you know, these are gripes that I have, but again, Ferraris are much better cars to drive. Porsches are much better cars to drive. This car is much better to look at. Okay, this BCM actually looks older, production-wise. That was the hardest thing to plug in. Okay. Well, I'm a little worried about the BCM because the BCM on this one says that it's a 2013 production, while that one was a 2011. So that came out from a non-Spider, which means it might not work. I'm a bit worried that that is a fluke. Now, normally we need to program the whole thing, but for now we're just going to plug in the bat and see if the console lights up. Nothing is activating. Impossible. Nothing. It's official. The electronics on this car is the shittiest thing ever. I can hear the relays tripping. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do this, but I think we're gonna tear the whole car up and PDM it. If Tavares can rebuild a P1 from the ground up after it being flooded, then I think we can PDM this. The only problem we see is basically I don't know if I'm gonna get the paddles to work, and obviously the ABS, but there's always aftermarket solutions for that. Again, we could also do a pedal box system along with the sequential gearbox for this car. Okay, it is loading day and we're gonna do this whole procedure again. So the boys weren't ready, which means I need to pop up some more air just to get a little higher also, so it clears the ramp. this has been really a dream come true for me to actually revive this car and really just get all my projects that I have been ignoring for the past few years running. And this is the first of first. After this, we're going to be working on the Mclaren and the R32 GTR, and then this a 964 chassis. So we do need to clear out some cars so that we can make space for the cars that I used to love and I used to enjoy. Okay, now we're gonna get ready to go down to Manila. I haven't driven this car in ages. Let's get out of here. I lost the part. I dropped the shock. This car is so loud. Actually another exhaust for this car to make it quiet.